What's good, Shellitronnn here. You can call me Shells, and I'm back again with a brand new video. And I'm going to keep it a Bowberry biscuit. This news that just came down yesterday for the Carolina Panthers is going to be rough to hear. And we'll get to that when we get to that. But for right now, throw this tweet right now from Tom Pelissero saying the hashtag Panthers placed veteran guard John Miller on the reserve/COVID-19 list. Now, as we know, with the COVID list, there's two different designations. If you're vaccinated, you are going to be good to go. If you are asymptomatic and you have two tests, I think with 24 hours apart, that show that you just don't have any symptoms and you don't actually have COVID, you're good to go. You can play and you'll be good. I think it's 3 days off, something like that. But if you do not have the vaccine, if you haven't been vaccinated, you're out for 10 days. We haven't found out, whether he got tested positive for COVID or if he had close contact with someone who had potentially COVID or what the case may be. All we know is that John Miller was placed on the COVID-19 list. Until this next tweet from Joe Person came out right before 2 p.m. Throw it up right here. It says, Matt Rule says Panthers guard John Miller will be out for 10 days. So there's your answer on his vaccination status. There it is. John Miller will be out for 10 days because he is not vaccinated. And that means, obviously, he will not be in our very first game going up against the New York Jets. Look, I know everyone out there has their own opinion on the vaccine, on, the virus, and how people should handle it, what rules are in place, and what's going on. But let me be very, very clear when I speak to you about this. I do not care what your personal opinion is on the vaccine, on the virus, and on the rules. All I know and all I care about is that if you mess up and you put yourself in a position to get put on that COVID list, knowing that the minimum you can be out is 10 days, you are actively putting not only yourself, but your teammates and our record at risk. If you know you don't want to get the vaccine, if you're dead set on not getting it, that's your business. People don't get put on the COVID list for literally nothing, right? You don't just get put on the list for nothing. They're not randomly putting dudes on the list like they were randomly piss testing Eric Reed 2 years ago. That's not how it works. So you're putting yourself in a position to get put on that list. And once you start doing that, you're messing with the wins for our team. And when you are one of the only two people on the offensive line, because this team does not like protecting the quarterback. Obviously, we saw in this draft, we saw in this free agency period, the Panthers do not care about protecting the quarterback. You were one of the two out of the 5 members on the O-line that has been actually somewhat consistent when it comes to quarterback protection. So when you decide to get yourself in a situation where you're on the COVID list, you're putting not only Sam Darnold, our quarterback, who has had his issues in the past and will need strong protection in order to actually perform this year. You're putting him at risk and you're putting our team wins at risk. There's no other way around it. And then we see this tweet. This next tweet from Joe Person. Let's go ahead and throw it up. He says, Matt Rule says Dennis Daley has the skill set of a starting O-lineman. Word. Oh, is that what Matt Rule said? Is that what Matt Rule said? I heard Matt Rule say a lot of things about a lot of guys right before he traded them out of there. I heard Matt Rule say a whole lot of positive things about a lot of dudes the second before he hit the go button. He said, Ejectocito, cuz! And they got him up out of there, packed the bags for him. They said, wait, they saw a tweet on their phone. They was in the locker room like, hold up. Matt Rule just said, what about me? Look to their left. All their bags are packed. The locker right behind them is empty of every single possession they own. I don't know what kind of interns they have in these locker rooms, but they work very, very quickly. You do not see them. Your bags are packed. There is an Uber outside. Do not make us pay the fee if they drive away without you in it. You have 2 to 3 minutes to walk to the front gate. Do not take that playbook, homeboy. Give us back that Microsoft Surface. You will not be needing that. I saw that happen a lot when Matt Rule gives guys compliments. And to be fair, Dennis Daley, when healthy, hasn't looked bad. I don't know about starting O-lineman level. I have never seen starting O-lineman out of Dennis Daley. I've seen very, very competent backup. I've seen very, very solid backup out of Dennis Daley. But there is one thing that every NFL player, one particular skill set, one particular quality or trait that every single player at the pro level of every single sport needs, and that's availability. And that's one thing that Dennis Daley does not have at all. You cannot be a starting O-lineman or starting anything. You can't even be a backup anything if you cannot stay healthy. He got his start in 2019 because of issues with health. We know how that went. We traded that guy away for a 6th round pick after trading up in the draft in 2018. We went up 10 spots from 47 to 37 with the Dolphins, used our comp pick in the 3rd round for Will Grier, another guy we just cut. But let's not talk about the 2018 draft right now. I want to stay at least a little bit happy on this day while I'm recording. Dennis Daley looked all right, but let's be honest, there was never a moment in time where we thought to ourselves, hold up. This guy could really be our starting left tackle. This could be our starting left tackle for the next 2, 3, 4 years. No one has ever thought about extending this man, Dennis Daley, to a long-term contract. And the fact that in 2019 he played in 14 games, started 9, 62% of the snaps on offense is pretty big. Especially since he didn't play all the games, only started in 9 of those games. I understand that. But in 2020, he played in 5 games, started 3. He played 13% of the snaps on offense. Tell me, is that good availability? Is that good availability? I'm not quite so sure. So when I hear the words, has the skill set to be a starting O-lineman, I know for a fact that Matt Rule does not mean that. Unless he means the skill set of John Miller not being available is what makes him a starting O-lineman in hell. Yes, he's a real big dude, and he happens to be the next best available player who happens to be healthy right now at this moment who can play because John Miller found himself put on that COVID-19 list. But I have to extend this question to every single person watching this video right now. How confident do you feel about Dennis Daley playing 17 games at right guard? How confident do you feel about Dennis Daley playing left tackle 17 games? 12 games? 10 games? 7 games? How confident do you feel about Dennis Daley? Do you feel as confident as Matt Rule sounds like he is about Dennis Daley? I just want to know, because maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Maybe he is a starter level O-lineman. I need a little bit more specificity out of Matt Rule on this one, but in my, I'll call it like it is. In my uneducated opinion, I do not believe that Dennis Daley has the full skill set of a starting offensive lineman for the Carolina Panthers with a quarterback like Sam Darnold who needs to be protected, especially in the context of the other spots on the offensive line that need to be, mitigated or at least have some kind of hand-holding going on there, because it's going to take a family. It's going to take a village to raise this child of an offensive line. And that's just how I feel about it right now, man. So Matt Rule can say what he likes about Dennis Daley, and John Miller, you are free to choose whether or not you want to get the vaccine, but you have to realize if you put yourself in a position to get pushed out of the game because you have to be out for 10 days, and keep in mind, if things line up the right way, 10 days can be 2 games. If you get put on the COVID list on a Saturday, you're out for 2 games. You're out for 2 different weeks. Keep in mind, you might be putting the whole team at risk. So, that's how I feel about it, man. Everyone has the right to choose what you want to do, but keep in mind that your choices do affect other people. But maybe we will find out that Dennis Daley is a starting O-lineman and Matt Rule was right, and this is the first time Matt Rule gave a guy a compliment that was actually sincere. We don't know yet. I hope we find out that Dennis Daley does not get cooked. That's how I feel about it, man. What are your thoughts? Let me know all y'all's thoughts in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.